I recently watched a YouTube video that I thought was very interesting, and I wanted to jump on here and share my hot take because while I think that there are parts of what he said that are insightful and useful, there are other aspects of the video that are off the mark and even potentially harmful. This video is all about the good guy, bad boy matrix. Now, I hear it all the time in my coaching. Men come to me absolutely certain that they have no chance with women because they're such nice guys. Or worse yet, they think that all women are broken because they just want to have a bad boy fantasy with someone who treats them poorly, and there's no interest in the guys out there who are just good. Men often believe that they need to fit into either the good guy or the bad boy archetypes in order to get women interested in them. Now, in his video, this YouTuber creates a chart that purports to show you what women actually want, like what he thinks they want anyway. And it doesn't divide men into a binary of good guy versus bad boy. Instead, he creates a matrix of both. With his system, you are able to place yourself somewhere along both of the spectrums of good guy and bad boy. It isn't one or the other. Rather, it's how much that you can embody both of them at the same time. And in this video that you're watching right here, I'm going to share what he gets right, what I love about this matrix, and where he is off. But before that, there's a simple truth that I want us to just all get on the same page about, and that is women want both. So the main point that he makes in his video is actually something that I have been preaching for years. Women don't want a good guy and they don't want a bad boy. They want someone who has both sides to them that they can deploy and activate at different times. The truth is, the men who have the most luck with women are able to create both a sense of safety and danger, which we could also describe as excitement. They're stable and consistent, but they are exciting and edgy at the same time. Sometimes men who feel that they are just good guys are actually struggling with self-confidence, assertiveness, and having a strong sense of self. You know what bad boys have? They have desires. They have boundaries. They know what they want. They aren't afraid to ask for it or to go get it. A lot of the time, guys confuse being a good guy with being a people pleaser. And yeah, typically that is not something that healthy women are attracted to. All right, so now that we have the core concept down, let's get into the meat of it. Number one, being a bad boy is to be masculine. The first point that he makes is that bad boys embody masculinity. In the chart, he defines masculinity as dominance, power, confidence, smoothness, which I'll talk about in a minute, and having something called the dark triad. I want to start off by saying that I do agree that so-called bad boys embody a lot of these traits. Power, dominance, confidence, smoothness are definitely things that I would say give a man bad boy energy. However, my main critique of this video is that his descriptions of these are vague and they lack nuance. For example, how do we define power? Is it a tangible thing like a high-paying job or being a leader in your field? Because you definitely don't need that to have bad boy qualities. This kind of thinking encourages men to believe that women are at their core materialistic, which is a problem because they're not. The kind of power that does evoke bad boy energy is internal power. Bad boys think for themselves. They aren't afraid of disagreement, but they do that not out of a sense of like rebelliousness. They do that because they actually considered what was right for them. They're not seeking approval. They're comfortable sticking up for what they believe in. What they believe in could be equality. It could be feminism. Sometimes when we think about power, especially in this context, what people often mean is power over, that they have power over other people. They can make other people do things according to their will. They can exert their power in such a way to have people act against their own self-interest, tell or force or coerce other people, especially women, to do things that they may not otherwise do. And that is not an attractive form of power. I think I speak for most women when I say that I would rather be with a man who has a strong sense of internal power, meaning power over himself and the world that is immediately like under his control, his ownership, what he's accountable for, instead of power over other people. So think about what kind of power you have. Power over your mind or over your emotions because you're connected with them and you know how to regulate yourself. Power over your art or your craft or your skill, over your instrument. Power over your schedule because you have decided to maybe make less money, but you work for yourself, and therefore you have power over how you spend your time. You see, power is a very nuanced thing, and I think that's worth addressing. All right, another thing that I like in this video is that he included smoothness, meaning smoothness with women, as a bad boy trait. Because when you display this quality, it does show women that you understand us. It is true that when a man knows how to talk to women in a way that they respond to well, we get a sense that he has been around women, which does give him a certain bad boy appeal, no matter what the actual number of notches on his bedpost really is. When you are smooth with women, when you know how to charm us and flirt with us, we know that you got that from somewhere. You didn't, I mean, most of you didn't just like wake up one day and become good with women just from the jump. You had to be around women. You had to practice charming women. You had to flirt with women and be with women in order to develop that smoothness. And most of us really know that if you're doing that with us, you are doing that with other women. And inside of the bad boy spectrum, you having practice and having access to women is attractive. We'll say more about that later. Now, one thing that I really disagree with here is that women are looking for men who have qualities that fall under the dark triad. For those of you who don't know, the dark triad is narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. To this, I have to say a big, resounding no. Healthy women are not looking for these traits in a partner. If they are, it is because they have their own mental illness, their own wounds, their own attachment issues that they need to sort through. If this is a guide that is meant to lead you towards satisfying and healthy relationships, then this point is wildly off the mark. Please do not try to become more narcissistic in order to attract women. That's a no-go. All right, number 2, good looks are part of the bad boy traits. The second thing that he says makes a man a bad boy are his looks. This is defined as the things that you cannot easily change, like your height, your body, your face, and your voice. According to him, if you are conventionally attractive, you are more likely to be a bad boy. And I think this all comes down to a concept that I like to call pretty people privilege. This has been documented pretty much everywhere. Like, if you are conventionally attractive, you will get away with more stuff in life. You will get promotions and reservations, and you will be allowed to do stuff that people who are less attractive just are not allowed to do. But while being conventionally attractive might predispose you to being seen as a bad boy by women, come on, we all know a guy who wasn't blessed with the best genetics, but he happens to be a total heartbreaker. Good looks are a plus for anyone when it comes to dating, but it is also true that women often overlook a guy's physical appearance in favor of his other traits. Like, if you have a sense of confidence and swagger, you can absolutely have those bad boy qualities without having traditionally attractive features. Now, I will say that attractive men get away with bad boy and frankly bad behavior, but that can be said for women as well. Pretty person privilege is real, but it doesn't necessarily make you a bad boy, even if women might at first perceive you that way based on your looks. All right, number 3, women want investment. Something that he says in the video is that women want to be invested in, and I agree. This can look like time, this can look like money, but it also, and more importantly, looks like things that align with her values, the way that she wants you to show that you are invested in the relationship. And I give him props for clearly stating that all women view investment differently, because that is true. Generally speaking, women want you to invest in us. I will say though that if a man was feeling like he wasn't getting an investment of care, of time, of attention, and yes, even of funds, he probably would feel like something was missing in his relationship too. We all want to feel like we are important, like we are a priority, and like energy is flowing from our partner to us regardless of gender. Number 4, availability to other women is a plus. In his chart, he states that women are viewed as less desirable when they are available to other men, while men, at least in the bad boy spectrum, are viewed as more desirable when they are available and attractive to lots of women. I do agree that availability to lots of women should fall under the bad boy side, but we need to stop with this problematic double standard when it comes to male and female sexuality. If you are a man who views a woman as less desirable or valuable because she has had her fair share of lovers, or because men are interested and attracted to her, ask yourself why. Sex is enjoyable. It feels good. Along with expressing connection, this is why people do it, regardless of gender. And when it comes to women finding players attractive, there's another thing that he misses the mark on. Women aren't attracted to the fact that you've been with a lot of women. It has more to do with feeling safe in the fact that you have been approved by other women, the women who came before us. If your approval from other women mainly comes in sexual relationships, that's definitely a bad boy quality. It also might let us know that you have sexual experience, and that might be fun for like a one-night stand or a short-term relationship, but not a long-term partner. The good guy side to this coin that is equally valuable is that if you are a man with a lot of female friends, like friends in your friend group, women do value this as well because it is a seal of approval. This is why you're more likely to have success approaching a woman like in a bar or a social situation if you are in a mixed group, like with men and women, rather than if you're just out with the boys. One of those groups looks inviting and safe, and the other could be predatory, whether that is your intention or not. Point 5, the highest form of love is monogamy. To be honest, my own views on this are complicated and they have evolved a lot over time. Now, if you have been watching this channel for a while, you know that there are many, many ways to configure a relationship of which monogamy is only one. And no one of them is better or higher than another. This points to a more high-level issue that I have with the video. Sure, he makes some good points, and for some people, this might be an accurate representation of how they feel. But it's kind of based on this lowest common denominator version of what love and relationships look like. It takes out the individuals. There's a lot of beauty in committing to a single person. We just have to acknowledge that people are unique in their needs and desires, and when you are basing a framework off of just one relationship model, it's always going to fail to represent a lot of people. Plus, it's not like monogamy prevents people from doing non-monogamous stuff like cheating. It's just that like making a public commitment to one person in his system shows that you value them. Point number 6, it's easier for women than it is for men. Lastly, a big takeaway that I had from this video is that it really feels like the guy who made it thinks that women have it a whole lot easier than men when it comes to finding a relationship. Now, I do think it is true that women have more choices than men, but I don't think that we have to be fatalistic about that reality. The egg has always chosen the sperm. Your options are limited. Okay, you can either be pessimistic and jaded about it, like the creator of this video, or you can figure out how to be the best sperm you can while remaining authentic to yourself. There has always been this sort of men are from Mars, women are from Venus idea when it comes to heterosexual relationships, but that's outdated. At the end of the day, we're all just human. There are differences between the sexes. Some of those are important, some of those are biological, but many of those are influenced by societal expectation. But more importantly, values, needs, and desires vary vastly from person to person. This video has some interesting points, but it also puts people into a pretty narrow box, and I'm not sure that approaching relationships this way is the best idea. To be honest, this video feels like it was made by a man who has been hurt by women, and as a woman who has been hurt by my fair share of men, I could certainly succumb to a similar view of the world and give you bad faith advice couched in what I call realism that is actually thinly veiled red pill misogynistic nonsense. But I know better, because when we give into these ways of thinking, we remove our own agency from the equation. I am far happier to subscribe to the idea that our ways of thinking create our world, and that exercising control over our inner worlds is far more productive than cursing our own disempowering stories about the outer one. Just to state it one last time, there is without a doubt some usefulness in what he is saying, especially the main point, which is that women are drawn to complex men who don't just hit a single note, who don't fit into either the category of bad boy or good guy. You need to establish safety first and then throw in a bit of danger to be sexually appealing to women. You have to be safe because she won't be able to relax and get turned on without it, and you have to be dangerous because sex requires novelty and excitement to stay interesting. I have been saying this part for years and I could not agree more. If I want you left with anything from this video, it is I want you to know that you do not have to choose. Your bad boy side doesn't have to come from having super toxic and negative and harmful traits. Your good guy side doesn't have to mean that you're not attracted attractive to women. Women want you to be a good guy and a bad boy at the same time, and you certainly have it within you to do both. If you want to know how, subscribe to this channel because there are literally hundreds of videos explaining what women are looking for from men and what men can do to be the best version of themselves, both in and out of romantic and sexual relationships. I'm Caitlin B. Thank you for tuning in. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you here later.